The United States has called itself a melting pot. Well, we can say the whole entire earth is a melting pot of so many beautiful cosmic inheritances. Masters have understood this for eons, yes. You can be anywhere at any time, anywhere at any time, simply by bringing your focus to that and infinite creator beings. So these lifetimes are like waves crashing upon the shore and then waves being withdrawn back again into the ocean. But in truth, you are simply just the ocean.
Thank you so much for coming. I'd like to welcome to the show Angie Hipple. How you doing, Angie?
I'm doing so great, Alex. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming all the way here to Next Level Soul Studios.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm just celebrating with you. I know you put a lot of work into it.
It's taken me a minute to do this. It's taken me a minute.
Are you still covered with dust?
Yeah. I did everything you see. I did myself and myself alone. No, we were blessed with some amazing people who came and helped us, and it just kind of very quickly. This happened in about 3 months. Believe it or not, it was a very quick.
Amazing.
It was a quick turnaround. Since we got it to where we are sitting today, it was a 3-month process, and it was wonderful. But I wanted to start doing more in-person stuff.
Great.
And bringing guests, because there's an energy on Zoom, and that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll continue to do that because not everyone can fly in. I talk to people around the world. But for those who can, I think it's just a little different energy, you know. And I've actually been in the room with one other channel. So you're my second channeled person that will be channeling in the room with me.
Amazing.
I know Paul. I saw Paul once, Paul Salick, and saw him channel live. So you'll be the first in this room to channel.
Okay, well, we're going to christen the place with some majorly great high vibe energies.
Who are so interesting and so fascinating. And
channeling was a total ego buster for me. I mean, it's so bizarre. It's so weird and just so strange. Yeah, it was a death knell, really.
Can you imagine what Seth was like?
Oh my gosh.
Was it 60s, 50s or 60s, something like that, around that time, right? When she was channeling Seth, I forgot her name. But
Jane.
Jane, yes, yeah. She was channeling Seth, and I mean Edgar Casey.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was a sleeping prophet, so it was kind of somewhat more acceptable, I guess, at that point. But he was channeling, and from what I understand, it was the Akashic Records, where he would go into the Akashic Records and be able to see everything.
Oh, and he did lots of other things too. Like he saw fairies and communicated with archangels, and
he did all sorts of things. Yeah, but back then, I mean,
it was very odd. He was the odd man out for sure.
There's no question. So imagine Seth, and then of course Abraham and Theo with Sheila, and there's and Daryl with Bashar. But I can imagine Seth. I mean, that was like literally demon times.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
On top of that, she smoked cigarettes and drank beer at the same time. So that really just
where they say enlightenment is
the whole bad girl thing.
It was like this crazy thing. I always find it. I talk to people sometimes about this thing because when Jesus showed up, or when Buddha showed up, or when any of these avatars that we talk about, who are on the wall here, Babaji, Yogananda, any of them, they came to the world at a time where their frequency and vibration was so much higher, or became so much higher than the people around them, that it must have been so difficult for them to even deal with the energies around them. They're there to raise all of us up, but that's a heavy lift. And I just go back and like, imagine, and if Jesus showed up today, for the first time, and Jesus shows up today and starts doing what he did back then, it would probably be much more accepted.
Right.
I don't think he'd be crucified.
No.
Maybe in Twitter.
He would be on TikTok and a YouTube sensation.
Absolutely. Maybe Twitter would have destroyed him or crucified him, but other than that, maybe he'd been canceled.
Right.
Because he was a troublemaker. I mean, he was a troublemaker. But I was just like, man, how difficult is it to talk about these concepts that you and I are talking about now in those times when there was so much illiteracy, so much lack of, not intelligence, of knowledge of anything, that you have to go, look, there's a dump around the corner that's on fire all the time, and they turned that into hell.
Right. Well, and let me tell you another soapbox that Judah's been on lately. When you think about Jesus, was he was the good Jewish boy gone rogue, right? He had had all the religious conditioning.
Back then, Jewish boys were taught for 12 years. They had to memorize the first 5 books of the Torah, but by the age of 12. And then, we think that he had this other mystical Eastern training from 13 to 30. But he was obviously a troublemaker and a Jewish boy gone rogue from the beginning. And so the soapbox Judah has been on is this. When Jesus was crucified, it took 2 entities to crucify him. It took the religious leaders of the day in cahoots, in collusion with the political leaders of the day. And it took both of those entities to take his life. And so Judah's soapbox is, hello, enlightened people, conscious people, listen up, be careful. Don't get in a collusion with political parties. Don't get in a collusion, a collaboration with the religious and political. The religious and the political together are crucifiers. They crucify the enlightened one, the true enlightened wisdom, the true enlightened leadership that we have in the world. We have so much of it. We have such a wealth of it. You bring it every week on this program. The religious and the political will always want to crucify that. And together, if they unite, that power together is dangerous.
Well, and it's also, I think, those two entities are the old. They're the old systems that do not serve humanity anymore. They did for a while. There's no question. Without religion in the early, the 100, 200 years, 300, people were killing each other left and right. There was a lot of crazy going on, and they needed something to kind of corral them and control them because they were just out of control. And I get that, but we're not there anymore. There are old systems that are not serving humanity anymore, and they're starting to crumble, but yet still have lots of power. But that power will be shaken. It's just going to have to transition and change. I mean, look, we're no longer. When I went to Europe, I guess I saw all the food there was so different. There's no preservatives. There's no corn syrup. There's no, no GMOs.
Nice.
None of that. And because they, as a collective, said no.
We're done with that.
We're done with that. We haven't learned that lesson here yet.
Right.
But there's going to be a point when we demand it.
Exactly.
Like we started demanding organic food. We started demanding certain things. And yeah, there's still a lot of garbage out there. There's a little fast food and things like that. But we started demanding different things, and we started voting with our dollars.
Exactly.
And that's the best vote you can make is with your dollars.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
100%. That is how Judah, as the last time we were together, Judah said the way that you change the economic system is by voting with your dollar, being an enlightened person, and then making enlightened choices with your funds. Yeah.
So we've been speaking about Judah.
Yeah.
For so long now. We've been talking for about an hour now. Let's if you can, let's bring Judah in. Absolutely. I got a whole bunch of questions for him. And it's going to be, I think it'll be a lot of fun. So can you tell everybody who has not seen you do what you do, what are you doing? Because it's not a demon. The devil is not showing up with a pitchfork.
Nope.
Not today. Maybe another day, maybe. Hallelujah. So can you explain to them what you're doing and who's coming through?
Yeah. So I had the great privilege to be of service with a group of angels called Judah. They're a collective of 350,000 angelic souls that together are an oversoul family. And they are my home. I'm one of them, one of the souls of that collective. And they just are beautiful, delightful, praise-filled, ebullient, joyful, kind of noisy, loud beings. They're they can operate in all realms of time and space, different dimensions, but what they're really passionate about and matters most to them is assisting people on their awakening and enlightenment journey. And they have the vibrational quality and the level of consciousness to take people all the way to enlightenment. And they're my very dear friends. I'm very thankful for them.
And do you get energized or depleted as you channel?
I get super energized. I bring through a lot of I feel like a live wire, like plugged into a 220, just totally amped up. Now, it can affect my body because there's so much more juice coming through my nervous system. And I kind of accommodate that. But no, it's a delight to have them. And sometimes, when they first came through the very first time, they healed me of a 2-year long COVID stint that I'd had. But even today, if I have a little cold or something and they come through, it'll usually clear that out.
Nice. If you could bottle that would be fantastic.
I know, I wish.
So, all right. So let's get to it.
Okay. All right, fire away.
What is the essence of a soul trap from a spiritual perspective?
Did you say a soul trap?
Yes.
Well, hello, dear Alex, and to all of you. And we are very happy to be here. And we have been anticipating this time with much excitement, yes? Now, what about a soul trap? A soul trap, we would say, is more about being soul stuck, yes? Being stuck in your own perceptions and perspectives. Stuck in belief systems about what life is, how life is. And primarily, we would say a soul trap is not forgiving the self. A soul trap is when the soul has held against itself some things, some instances, experiences, some pattern behaviors that have perhaps followed that soul from one life to the next and to the next and to the next. And so the soul trap occurs because the soul is not been able to see its way clear to forgive itself of its perceived wrongs. And so it continues on. Guilt is the main fuel for this soul trap. It fuels the soul to continue on in a needless cycle.
Now, how can we channel our guardian angels in a more efficient way? Or how can we in general?
Yes, well, this vessel can teach you very easily. It's very simple, very simple. You simply connect with your heart chakra. You, by just putting your attention there, your focus there, or sometimes just putting your hand there will help. And in your inner being, you say to your consciousness, speak to your consciousness, whatever term you use, apply for your own consciousness, be it your superconscious, your higher self, your inner being. And you speak to your inner being and you say, please find and locate the consciousness of my angels. Now, when this vessel works with persons, she generally helps them to make the very first connection with their guardian angel. And so they simply touch their heart. They say, please locate the consciousness of my guardian angel. And so understand that every person obviously has their own personal consciousness. It is the sentience that animates the body, that makes them a living being. It is full of divinity and life force energy. And that consciousness can join with any consciousness in the universe, just as this personal consciousness of that you call Angie Hipple is now connected, merged in with our consciousnesses. Yes. And so anyone can do this. You allow your consciousness to search. You may feel a searching mechanism in you, and then you will feel the connect in. Now, what does this connect in feel like when your guardian angel's consciousness merges in with your consciousness? It can feel like a slight shift in the energy in the room. It could feel like a lift, a lightness coming into your emotions, a sense of joy or peace coming over you. It can feel like energy running through your body. It can sound like a slight shift in the sound in the room, similar to being in an airplane. Yes? And so when you feel that slight, ever so slight shift, know that your angel is there. Their consciousness is now merged with your consciousness. This is very much like two clouds in the sky. If you are one cloud and your angel is the other, if two clouds bump into one another, they merge and become one cloud. So for that moment in time when you are communing with your angel, you become one. Your consciousness is one with theirs. This is all that channeling is. Channeling is just a term that has many different meanings to many people, but simply what it is this. It is communing with other consciousnesses. You can commune with the consciousness of your wife as you sit together having dinner, or with your arms around each other on the sofa in the evening. This is a communing, a coming together of consciousness, your consciousness merging with hers. This happens all the time in physical intimacy. This is why people are so enamored with the sexual act on your planet, because there can be, not always, but there can be a beautiful merging of consciousnesses, yes? Two coming together as one. And this is lovely. And so this is what is happening right now. You are witnessing it. There is a communion between our consciousness and the consciousness of this soul, working together as one, being completely in unity. Anyone can do this. Now, let's say, for instance, that you wanted to perhaps have a conversation with Yogananda or with the Buddha. You would simply sit and still yourself, allow your mind to melt, touch your heart or drop into your heart space, just as you would in meditation, but slightly different from the typical meditation of a no-mind meditation. In this instance, you would instead say to your inner being, please locate the consciousness of Yogananda. And very momentarily, perhaps instantaneously, if you practice for a little while, you will feel a shift. You will feel as if someone else has come in the room. You will feel perhaps as if someone else has come into your being. And then simply you trust. You trust that whatever thoughts come into your mind during that moment in time are not your own thoughts. They are the thoughts of your beautiful and beloved Yogananda. And if you have the impetus to write these thoughts down or record them, you will find they don't sound quite like you. They sound like your master, Yogananda. Now, everyone will have the ego mind say to them, you're making this up. So go ahead and factor that into the equation and proceed anyway. So who cares if it is your mind? Yes?
Judah, let me ask you, why have you chosen to come now at this time in human history to be channeling? Because it seems like there's so many people channeling now where 20, 30 years ago there wasn't as many. Why have you chosen specifically to come through now?
We love this question. We love this question. And one of the things the vessel said to us on a regular basis in the beginning, and still occasionally she will say, Judah, why me? Why now? Because there are plenty of people doing this and they're highly effective at what they're doing. So we will tell you what our agenda is, yes? Our agenda is to vastly accelerate the trajectory towards enlightenment. For in the circles, such as those beautiful souls listening, many, many, many have come to an unconscious belief to which they adhere that enlightenment is only for the super special, only for the cave dweller in the Himalayas, only for the multi-million bookseller that packs out concert halls for enlightened teaching. This is not the way we want it to be. This is not the way the Creator wants it to be. This is not what the Elohim wish for this season and time of Earth's history and humanity. We want the masses to be awakened, and we want myriads of people to come into an enlightened state. We recently gave this vessel a dream in which she saw a grove of trees, hundreds of trees, and in each tree there was hanging a cocoon, a large cocoon, golden, gleaming, brilliant, golden, gleaming cocoons, light emanating from the inside out, and within them she saw a person in each one. A person in each one. These are the bodhisattvas. These are the ones who will be transformed through hearing our voice. Even some now, as they are hearing our voice, they are saying, yes, Judah, I am one of those. I am one of those in the cocoon. I am a bodhisattva. I am one of those who has purposed in my soul to become an enlightened being in this lifetime. And I hear you. I hear your call. And I am awakening to that call. And so we are here to make sure that these ones who've purposed to do this in their soul, in their pre-birth experience, that they make it all the way to enlightenment. We are guardians over these beautiful cocoons filled with golden light. We have our eye on these. We are watching over them. They are receiving all the information, assistance, and support they need through teachings such as the ones you offer here, through our messages, and also through their own angels and guides. And they are protected. And there will be a massive resurrection of sleeping souls into this fully self-realized state in this generation and the generation to come.
Can you give us a little inclination of what humanity's origins are from a cosmic standpoint?
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Humanity was seeded from so many places, seeded from angels, seeded from interstellar races all over this galaxy and even beyond. The heritage and inheritance is so vast. The United States has called itself a melting pot. Well, we can say the whole entire Earth is a melting pot of so many beautiful cosmic inheritances.
If you're enjoying this conversation, I invite you to go deeper down the rabbit hole with me on Next Level Soul TV. It's packed with exclusive content like live special guest Q&As, daily podcasts, commercial-free access to the entire Next Level Soul catalog, early access to episodes before they air, and special meditations you won't find anywhere else. We will be adding new exclusive content every month, plus you can connect with me during my monthly live streams. Just go to nextlevelsoul.com/subscribe and join our soulful community today. I'll see you on the inside.
And so it is very experimental in this way. It has been a grand experiment, yes, of putting so many different perspectives and ways of being together in community. And so what we wish for you all is to see yourselves, not just see yourselves, but experience yourselves and operate as a human family, as one human family with myriads of differences, but yet one heartbeat inspired by the divine Creator.
Is there a spiritual significance to the concept of angels singing?
Yes, certainly. Music is the language of the cosmos. It is the language, it is the universal language of love and communication. And you see, we are full of sound and song and melody and rejoicing, and so much rejoicing and joy. And we love to sing. Angels want to sing and sing over you because our Father, Mother God, Creator God sings over you, If you want to know what makes God sing, we will tell you. It is you. It is you. God loves you so, so very much. Just like a mother or father sings over a little infant in the cradle so naturally. Even the father and mother that thinks that they can't sing a note, yet they will. They will sing over the little one, will they not? Yes? Because they delight in this little one. They delight in its innocence, in its purpose, in its potential, in its beauty, in the fact that it is a reflection of their own being. So God sings over you in the same way that a father and mother sings over their child. And so we also do the same. You are little brothers and sisters. We are constantly rejoicing over you. You see, we never fret about anything at all. We're never concerned about you, whatever path you are taking. We know where you are headed. We know you are evolving back into your beauty, your divinity. We know it. We know it. And so we rejoice. We have utter faith and trust in your journey and in your place in this universe.
Can you tell me the difference between enlightenment and spiritual awakening?
Yes, certainly. Spiritual awakening is when your soul looks over at your ego and says, oh, you are not me. You are not me. And I think I've had enough of you. I'm going to determine how to silence you, quiet you, relax you, so I can get about the business of being what I'm here to be. This is an awakening. Enlightenment is the end of that process, which is the beginning of other processes, there are so many more delightful things for you, my dears, beyond enlightenment. We wish you to go to enlightenment just so we can begin to show you all of that, which is so delightful. But to answer your question, enlightenment is the point in which the ego has been fully subjugated to the soul. And the soul lives in command of the person. And the soul has total authority over the thoughts, feelings, and actions of the person. And so in an enlightened state, the ego personality, the aspects of the personality are simply tools for expression of the love and wisdom of the soul. Yes? And so we will share a metaphor for you of this. The personality is like a glove on the hand. A glove on the hand. Yes, your soul is the hand. The ego is the glove. The arm are your angels and guides. And the whole is source. And so when you are fully enlightened, you can express your soul through the context of the ego and the personality. And the expression is pure. And it operates only in service to others.
Beautiful. What is light language and how can we use it in our spiritual practices?
Well, there are multitudes of languages in the universe, obviously, as there are so many languages on the earth. And so these light languages are simply a one who connects in and communes with other beings on the other side in this unseen realm and hears their languages and communicates in these languages. Yes, just as a young child, let's say, lives in a family with two parents, maybe speaking two different languages, and the child in its own due course of time will begin to mimic the languages that it hears and speak in those languages. And so many of those who have access to higher realms, they are swimming, we will say, moving, operating in the quantum field. Yes, they hear these various languages, and it's very natural for them in their learning process to begin to mimic those languages and speak in them. Now, why is that important? Why bother to listen? Well, it edifies the soul. It builds up the soul. It expands and strengthens the soul's determination to be sovereign over the physical person. And in these light languages, there are encoded enormous amounts of information from the quantum field. So, for example, if you were to say tectonic plates, that are two words there, tectonic plates, you might have some concept about what that means. Yes, but to have a light language in which you heard tectonic plates or the equivalent of that would to be then to suddenly have access to all the information in the universe about tectonic plates. It would be like suddenly having a PhD in tectonic plates, you see, as a geologist. And so this language can be a means to download a lot of information, which you don't need to be concerned about. Just allow it to settle into your subconscious mind. It will be of use to you when you need it.
What are some of the primary sources of help from the unseen realms?
Yes, we will tell you the sources of help. There are your angels and guardians created by God, yes, that are pure in their essence, and they are the express representation of God. If an angel says it to you and you are sure that it is the angel speaking to you, you can assure that they are a pure and accurate, clear messenger of the divine. There are also ascended masters who are sources of help. These are those who have lived on the earth as human souls, and they have reached a fully enlightened state. They may still reside on the earth, or if they are ascended, then they have gone on to their next aspect of evolution. As we said, there is much beyond enlightenment. And so these ascended masters can be involved in many ways in all realms of time and space to offer their wisdom and insight. Yes? And you can, of course, speak to them and commune with them, receive insight and information from them, just as you would angels. Yes. Then there are also many, many extraterrestrial races, too many to count. There are some that are more familiar to you because they, for whatever reasons, have been brought into awareness of media and writings and so on. But there are even so many more beyond those of which humanity now has awareness. They also are sources of help. They are a little further down the road from you. Some of them are in their evolution and understanding, and they really are cheering you on. For your success is what is best for everything in your solar system and in the universe. Then there are the Akashic records, we would say. This is a common term, but basically this is just having an access to all the divine, all the information of all of history and all realms of time and space in the universe are held in the quantum field, and anyone can tap into this knowing, yes, by simply asking with reverence for truth, for understanding. A simple way to do this vessel does it regularly. When she's sitting with someone that she wants to assist, her human mind has many concepts and ideas and even experiences, perhaps even a little wisdom to share with someone. But what she prefers is to set all of that aside, and she does that by saying this: please tell me what I don't know, what is not known for this vessel. For you see, what you know has brought you to where you are, and all of that is fine and good. But to go where you want to be in the next stage of your evolution, you have to know something that you don't know. Yes? And so the Akashic records, the angels, the ETs, the ascended masters, all of these are vast resources for you. The last one we would say in way of service to you is your higher self. Your higher self is so much more than what you understand it to be, my dears. We are not speaking of the higher power spoken of in a 12-step meeting. We are not speaking of your loving and good qualities. Your higher self is so much more powerful than that. Your higher self is the conglomeration or the merging together of every lifetime you have ever lived and will live in every realm of time and space. We are this vessel's higher self. When we speak through her, we are bringing in all the insight of the 350,000 incarnations that this soul will have, is having, will have. And so imagine the assistance you could gain from a collective of 350,000 souls who could share their insight of a life poorly lived or well lived. Yes?
You spoke about ascended masters. There's one ascended master that I would love to hear your thoughts on. Can you tell the audience a little bit about Babaji?
This master was a true father. He loved each one as a child, as a father loves his own child, and in the very best and magnanimous sort of way. And he is still very, very, very active on the earth plane. There are still myriads of followers here on the earth of this Babaji, many who call on his name, and he is resourced, completely sourced and resourced by Source in order to answer every call. In fact, a master such as this Babaji can answer you before you've even finished the thought. Yes, and so he is communicating telepathically to anyone who calls upon him. And also, he is able to distinguish those who are his true sons and daughters. And for those, there is a special grace to come upon their lives to operate in his healing virtues, and we will say in his anointings. In other words, these sons and daughters will bear his qualities, his characteristics, his traits in their personality, and they will operate effectively in those.
And is it true that he's still walking the earth to this day because he chooses to?
Yes, absolutely.
So for people not understanding, he's supposedly 2,500 years or older and has the body of a 25-year-old and is walking around the Himalayas right now doing God's work, essentially.
Yes, that is correct.
Such a beautiful idea and beautiful concept to hold on to.
And we hear this vessel saying, "Are you sure about that, Judah?" Because she has no natural knowledge of that. But we would say that's an absolute yes.
Are there any specific messages Archangel Michael has for humanity?
We will pass it over to Michael then. I am the Archangel Michael, and I am pleased to be invited to this time of sharing. And this is what I would have to say to you, dear ones listening. Hold your chin up. Hold your head up. Stand up straight. You are sons and daughters of the Most High. You are imbued with authority. All keys to everything you want access to in the heaven and the earth have been given unto you. Pick up your keys. Hold them in your hand. Don't lay them down. Don't put them in a drawer. Do not give them to anyone else. Hold them. Keep them in your possession and make use of them. These are obviously metaphorical keys that I am speaking of here, but they are very real in the ether. Open what you want to open. Close what you want to close. I am giving unto you, in agreement with Father and Mother God, this authority. Think carefully. What do you want to open? And then open it. And then steward what is through that door. Be good stewards of what has been given into your care, of what you want. What you want, you will have. So think carefully about what you want, for you must steward what you are given and what you want. Now, close the door as well with the keys. Be the master of your keys. If something is happening you do not want, you must close the door to it and lock the door if you do not want that. All authority in all realms of time and space given unto you. However, most we'll choose not to operate in all of those realms because it is daunting, as you would say. So you choose what realms you want to operate in, and then take dominion. Not dominating, but standing up, holding your head up, yes, and taking dominion as the inheritor, as the firstborn, which you are. And we will answer any other questions you have for us.
Yes. You spoke about Babaji. I'd love to know if Babaji has any messages for us.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Hello, my dear son. Well done, drawing me into this space and time. Well done. No, dear, my joy is just to be here with you. Nothing to say, yes, just being with you. Well done, my son. Well done. I am well pleased. I delight in you, my dear.
What can we do to help our evolution spiritually as humanity?
You must meditate more and stop being so distracted. Too many distractions, too many worthless. I will tell you, dear ones, when you cross over, you will be disappointed by where you gave your attention to so many things of so little importance. And simply bring yourselves into this bliss and goodness. Meditate more.
Why have you chosen to stay on the earth plane?
I love it here. This is my home. Why would I be anywhere else? I've invested my heart here. I've invested myself. My soul is invested in this earth, and I love the beauty of the earth. The beauty of the earth is ravishing to me.
Are we going through a great spiritual shift right now?
Oh, yes. Certainly. And you are a part of it. And everyone listening is a part of it. And this is like a cold being spread to so many. The common man.
Can you explain to me the concept of quantum jumping in the context of our spiritual growth?
Well, you young ones have all these phrases about all these things, but masters have understood this for eons, yes. You can be anywhere at any time, simply by bringing your focus to that and infinite creator beings, coming into meditation, and in meditation, entering the wonders of imagination, and in the wonders of imagination, creating the earth in any way that you see fit. But coming into mastery is to surrender into the all that is, and simply welcoming everything of life as it is, being exactly what it is for exactly the purpose it is intended. All of it is in perfection, and so mastery is simply entering meditation and feeling the joy of the perfection of all that is.
And from your point of view, Babaji, can you explain to people the concept of all of our lives happening at the same time, and not there is no past, no future, that all lives are happening at the same time, and that there are multiple parallel lifetimes happening at the same time? Can you explain it in a way that our little brains can understand?
Well, I will say it this way. If you were a drop in the ocean, you could be a part of a wave crashing on the shore, or a wave being pulled back from the shore, back into the waters. Yes. And you could experience yourself as this wave coming in or this wave going out. But as you go deeper and deeper into your essence, you simply find yourself so deeply in the bottom that you can't be a part of a wave anymore. So these lifetimes are like waves crashing upon the shore, and then waves being withdrawn back again into the ocean. But in truth, you are simply just the ocean. And so it is the way of humanity to see itself as a part rather than the whole. And so some of these things will be difficult for you to understand until you experience them. And when you experience them, then you will simply melt into the whole.
And is there a way to speak to one of your great students, Yogananda?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yogananda, what have you thought of humanity since you've left this earth plane on a spiritual evolution state?
Well, there have been many messes made, but as children do, they make messes, and it is for the father or the mother to wash their hands before dinner. And there's nothing that's happened that can't be rectified. And I am still pleased with the progress overall, including the messes made.
What is the most important lesson humanity needs to learn right now?
Be centered in your own being. Find your light within. Know yourself in meditation. In meditation, you discover who you are. And if you meditate long enough, you become the soul, and what is not the soul drops away. And then you are true to the self.
What are the barriers to spiritual enlightenment, and how can they be overcome?
The barriers to enlightenment are misunderstandings and misconceptions, of which, my dear, you are part of rectifying, yes? And so never underestimate the power of an insight and a truth to set free another and to bring them into an enlightened state. And so all that is needed for enlightenment is light to be shed on the path for the next few steps. And then when those few steps have been made, light again to show the way for the next few steps. And so never underestimate again the power of an insight, a truth, an understanding to one who is in the dark. Continue then bringing insight and understanding, because freedom is the goal.
Can you tell me what was the most difficult part of your own journey while gaining enlightenment in your lifetime?
Finding atmospheres, places, and environments that could align with what I knew to be true, what I knew to be my purpose and my message and my calling. Finding those persons, places, communities, and organizations that could fully align so that I could move forward unimpeded.
Thank you for being here, Yogananda, and for Babaji being here. Judah, I have one more question for you.
Yes, please.
What is a parting message you have for humanity right now?
Everything is well. Keep trusting. Keep trusting in the divine plan. When you can't see, when you don't know, when you are under difficult energies in your inner being, call out for our assistance. And there we will be. As we spoke earlier of these different forms of assistance, it matters not which one you reach out to. The assistance is vast, 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 and unlimited. And you will feel a shift. And know that whatever difficult thing you are going through is unlocking for you the next level of consciousness, the next level of freedom. Rest in the love. Rest in the love. Forgive yourself of all things. Regret nothing. Feel guilty about nothing. Do nothing out of obligation, fear, or guilt. Align with your inner being. Align with the truth and the light that you have in this very moment. Take one single step forward, and then information will be given to you for the next. You can't mess it up. You can't mess it up. We support you in every conceivable way. You will be supported all the way through your journey.
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much. How much do you remember, by the way?
Bits and pieces.
Little bits and pieces.
I feel kind of just really great and kind of blissful, blissfully happy.
So you were aware that I brought in some other people besides Judah?
I did. You did that to me. You really put me on the spot. What would have happened if I couldn't have come up with that with Babaji? I was like, inside I could hear myself somewhere in the background.
Like, where is he?
Oh, no.
Oh, God, where is he? Well, look, I wasn't planning on it. It was just something that came up. It's so, it's so funny. You know what's funny about it is that, I have 100 questions here that I always use as a backup, and I go in and out, but we've had mostly an open conversation with a couple questions here and there. Especially when we're channeling, I've noticed that direct questions work better than a conversation with the Ascended Masters, generally speaking. So as we're talking, he said Ascended Masters, I was like, I brought Archangel Michael in.
Yeah.
And then he said, Archangel Michael said something. I was like, it's just something inside of me is like, hey, why don't you call Babaji and see what happens? I swear to God, I wasn't planning it. I was not planning it. And Babaji's right there.
I've never channeled him before.
I know you haven't. I know you haven't. Or Yogananda. I know you haven't.
Beautiful.
So I was like, well, let's see if Babaji shows up. And we have editing. If it didn't show up, don't worry. So I brought, and then Babaji came in. And, it's very difficult for people that are not here to feel this.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, our interactions have been through Zoom.
Right.
And then through Zoom, there's a certain level of energy that you feel, but it's very different when you're in the room.
Isn't it?
It's very different when you're in the room. So watching you, and people always ask me, is this channeling thing real or not? Are they faking it? I always say, look, whatever they're saying, does it work for you? If it doesn't, move on. If it does, cool. I don't care if you believe it or not.
Right.
So watching you do what you do, again, as a director of films, for you to act and come off the top of your head, the stuff that was coming out of your mouth is insane. For an hour. We were almost an hour of just channeling.
I wish I could explain what it feels like,
right.
Literally to feel the shift. I can feel their different personality.
Oh,
and
well, that's what I was going to say.
Their energies are completely different. Like Babaji's was like so fatherly and kind of
almost mischievous,
kind of dwarfish.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
like mischievous, like. When you were talking, when Judah comes in, Judah has a very specific energy.
Oh, yeah.
Very energy. Archangel Michael came in and I started to set up a little bit.
Oh, I know.
Because
it's kind of scary.
He's got this very powerful, authoritative way of speaking, and his energy is like that, but not in a difficult way, but more in a loving way. But it's just very strong. And then Babaji came in and it was just like this energy shifted.
I felt like I was talking to Yoda or something.
It was very Yoda-like. That's why I have him here. It's very Yoda-like. Very Yoda-like. He's like, I don't have anything to say. I'm pleased that you brought me in.
And I was in the background of my mind. I was thinking, wait a minute, Babaji, you gotta have something to say.
And he's like, no, I'm just happy I'm very good on you. You got me in here. That was kind of the way the energy was. It's like, good for you. You brought me in. I'm so glad to be here. I'm glad you brought me in. And then I was like, I gotta ask him. So I was not prepared for Babaji. I didn't prepare any questions. So I was like, and I just started asking Babaji questions. And he started answering them because it was really off the cuff. That was an off the cuff. We didn't talk about Babaji or anything like that to channel any of that stuff. And then I'm like, well, if you brought Babaji in, let's bring Yogananda in and let's see what happens. And Yogananda's energy is so different.
Yes.
It's just a completely different.
So, kind of graceful, isn't he?
Very elegant and graceful.
Elegant
and graceful in the way he speaks. But then from watching footage of him and studying him for as long as I have, his energy matched. Like it just matched. You were not prepared. And I can't say this enough to everyone listening. You were not prepared for what I was about to toss you.
No, and I for everybody's information, I've never listened to any of Babaji's teachings. I don't know him, and I've read a little bit of Yogananda's book, but it was years ago. And now I'm like I'm hooked. I want to go home and
now you're like, well, these energies are pretty badass. I'm going to go in there and figure them out. It was fascinating to see how his energy came up, because when I was talking to him, I'm like, oh yeah, this is his energy. And then I brought it back out to Judah as a I'm like an attaboy. Thank you so much, Judah. I wanted to bring him in and walk us off. But it was such a beautiful exchange. But I can't get over Babaji. Right. I mean, or any of the three that were not Judah. I can't get over their energy.
Well, one of the things Judah said to us from the beginning is that they are like the Oprah of the cosmos, and I'm an ENFJ, kind of like Oprah, and Judah definitely has that kind of personality type. But they've always been willing to hand over the mic to anybody.
Oh, they didn't even think.
Oh no,
they didn't do like, hold on.
Yeah.
And then Baba showed up.
And lately, when I work with people helping them start channeling, Judah will say, well, we're the foster parent or the midwife. So they really love doing that. And just to speak to the channeling phenomenon, what's so beautiful is when people channel for the first time, a lot of times they can't come up with any words. They just weep. And the reason they weep is because suddenly you're able to feel, for the first time in your life, this love that's beyond description.
Yep.
And you feel it in your person, and you realize how treasured you are. And so I tell people a lot of times, I say, don't worry if you don't get any words or messages. Just feel the love and just enjoy being loved on. Commune.
It's so difficult for people to understand the energy, the feeling, because there's no words to be put to things like that. Right. It's just a knowing. It's just a feeling.
Yeah.
And our language can't go past that. It can't compute. It just does not have.
Which is what we started out the conversation with, right? You could have a Bible or a sacred text with tens of thousands of words, but it just doesn't. It's not the same as feeling it in your body, feeling love, feeling energy, experiencing it.
I truly cannot get over Babaji. His energy was so. I was not expecting that. And I'm sure you just like wired off of that.
Oh, yeah, I feel fantastic.
I just love it. It's like, well, good on you. You got me here. All right. Very happy to meet you. Good on you. It's just like, wow. I was like, holy cow. It was a new experience for me. So that was so beautiful.
We might have to take a flight to the Himalayas, brother.
Oh my God, please. Yes. I was just talking to somebody, actually the filmmakers behind Awake, the Yogananda documentary. Yeah. And they were telling me that Babaji's cave, where they filmed, when they filmed, no one was there. Now you show up, there's 50 people in line waiting to walk in. So there's something going on with Baba. There's an energy. He's been behind the scenes for quite some time. Still is for the most part. But that's why I kind of asked about Babaji and to explain Babaji to certain people, because his energy, I mean, and this is sacrilege for a lot of people listening, but he is the teacher of the masters.
Wow.
So he is the one who taught Yogananda.
I'm so curious now. I'm behind. I've got to catch up.
He and Jesus work hand in hand. There's a lot of, when you see all the deities or the yogis in Yogananda's lineage, Jesus is there. And he was doing that back in the 10s and the 20s. And that's why he was so accepted, I think, too, by the West here, because, well, their Jesus is up there. He puts them up there with everybody else. It was really fascinating. Oh, I mean, I could take advantage all day, just like, all right, let's bring Jesus in. All right, let's bring Eucharist right. All right, let's.
Okay, just feed me in between.
Saint Germain, can we bring him in?
Bring in some takeout. We'll keep going. We got a few more ascended masters to bring in.
Well, I'm glad I challenged you.
I thank you for doing it. Thank you for doing
I'm
it.
glad I challenged you because you just went in there and you picked them up pretty. I mean, they just came in.
Well, I tell you that desire and the curiosity and anticipation is really key to bringing out the most in these channelings. Like this morning when I was laying in bed, getting ready to get up for the day, I could feel Judah like a bull behind a gate at a rodeo, just like this, just waiting for the gate to be. And that's been my experience. The more people come, the more listen, the more energy they bring, and the more attention and force they put into and effort they put into it. So it makes a difference.
It's amazing. I mean, I could, like I said, I could keep asking about can you bring this person, can you bring that person, but I think that's enough for the day.
Okay.
Angie, thank you so much for coming. It's been such a pleasure talking to you today. Being here in person, it's a new experience for me. It's just so much fun. I mean, Zoom is great in ways to get access to people that you just can't get access to otherwise because they can't all fly in. But this has been so beautiful and enlightening. So
it's a delight.
So
we love working with you, brother. We love working with you and the Next Level Soul family.
So I appreciate you. Thank you again for showing up.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching. Click on one of the videos below to continue your journey, and don't forget to subscribe.